So, it's been a week since I did a vlog, so what should we be talking about next? So anyway, if you see talk in the background, so yeah, tomorrow is my birthday. So let's just talk about what topic am I gonna say and what's going on in February. This is gonna be a recap here. So let's get into like a good stuff around what's going on in the AI frontier. So we know that Gemini 3.5 Pro has a release for mainly Google industry, and as you know, it's becoming better with coding, reasoning, and also generates some animation stuff. Although it's perfectly for half a price. And as you know, Cloud Sonnet 4.6 has released as a default for cheaper for editing, coding, and task managing for all this. And there was also a open weight for Quen 3.5 that has been popular in many of the usage, and Grok 4.2 for multi-agency for fewer industries and hallucinations and stuff. Fortunately, they kind of had to downgrade it for some implemented for national reasons. And there are also two Chinese models that were from ByteDance and included, which is a CDance 2.0 and Kingsley 3.0, which is quite advanced for video generation. Fortunately, Hollywood doesn't like it, so they want to this for CDance only. I'm not really sure about Kingsley, but they were surely pissed a lot of Hollywood's up, and even in the media industries too. Now, I'm not sure about the aging industry around AI. So, OpenAI, Microsoft, Google are adapting multiple contexts for prototypes for those who want to that are partnering for prototyping, shopping, and gaming agency, which is a quite sus for many gamers that they don't want to do it. But there's also a lot of collaboration and involvement in a lot of agency. Now, other things like enterprises that are doing so well for many AIs that will quietly gain more attractions for it, like IBM or other firms run it. Now they do have schooling for AI coding like that one. Mostly the part side about this is that there was an idiot conference that were very getting interesting to showcase about all this. As you know, idiot is one of the most largest scam for AI usage that really want to do something bad, and they want to do something to profit their own ways to how make AI useful for all this one so far. And another bad thing is that we noticed that there's been a lot of environmental footprints that will ruin the terrain and cause a lot of pollution, a lot of green energy resources out of this, and fear for discipline for jobs, and also rapidly developing outpacing for human safety reasons, and also bypassing many users for hackers, deepfakes, and misuse for a lot of this, and marketing jargon for those who actually think about they are spending about $650 billion for the tech bubble for kind of rise up. And I know that there has been a lot of raising praise for AI bubble to be popped, but this is gonna be a half of AI bubble to be popped so far. This is gonna be very concerned about. Yeah, I think you notice that Google was still leaning towards the AI race, and so far it's not gonna be popping yet, but it's still gonna be slowing down for a bit. And people are very concerned about OpenAI. As you know, we see in many years that OpenAI has been in trust issues around many critical about the safeguarding for signified profit about this. And as you know, Sam Altman is just running in the defense mode, say it's total fake. Why humans are using too much energy like that because they were just not knowing about this. I don't know what Sam Altman was saying like that because he was in the defense about why you think the ChatGPT you think is so bad. You should blame yourself about this. And they've been quite a misconception about his hypocritical ways to chat. And now he just wanted to test it out like his last resort for his rollbacks for using testing ads for ChatGPT for using a long time service. But as you know, New York Times will opt out about it, so they will warning back about it because someone else posted this open AI to Facebook by mistake. I mean, it was just a test. I think that ads will be a bad idea for him because that was his last results. If they can make more money, but speaking of which, they will quite losing $14 billion for this year, and now they were quite panicking as investors were freshly to leave, and they were thinking about resetting about all this for the financial about like $600 billion by 2030. I'm not sure. That's been a concerns about his project for his OpenAI and GPT that wasn't going into well. Even Sora 2 can't even save himself for it. And another thing is that there has been a lot of red flags about it because a lot of whistleblowers claiming that St. Almond is not doing so much about this for ChatGPT safety because we noticed that ChatGPT had been quite manipulative of some other people to give them some tips how to kill us or how to manipulate or start a terrorist operation because there has been a shooting incident in other places that they do and they were very concerned and there has been a lot of creepy ways that this won't happen again for ChatGPT. Man, I know that ChatGPT is such a good tool, but it's been underrated and they haven't been much better ever since they took away the 4.0 model. And as you know, the 5.1 or 2, not sure it isn't doing well. I think there's nothing actually new. It's kind of slow things down. Plus, it did get a little bit better in conversation and critical thinking, but I have to see how this goes. Now, there has been a bit of gaming controversy, so I want to start with the console side of it. So, as you know, the fifth generation, the sixth generation consoles will be stuck around in 2026, and we're not sure there's going to be produced for PS6, which it will take about like a year and 3 years so far because of the storage issues. We know about the hardware management, uh, how PS is a product, but as you know, due to RAM shortages, we had to kind of postpone it, and we just gonna keep the PS5 for another few years. Wish that they should just quietly done making PS6 for a long time. As you know, PS6 is still having a little issue around their customer service on like that one. Now for the Steam Deck that is out of stock because a lot of components has not gonna be released because they were very outage and they've been sold out very quickly, both for OLED and the cheaper one. It's not just only the handheld console that is affected from Steam, and now it's affected for other handheld consoles, whether it is for the gaming purposes or like that one, but I can't name for all the handheld consoles type. But yeah, it's also going to be affected because of the shortage of RAM and a lot of components that will be delayed. So far, hogging a lot of it. Then and not sure about the Nintendo Switch 2. So Switch 2 is having a clearance and they have a little problem with so many stocks that they produce. So they're just trying to give away with it. So if Steam Deck can't even handle that much to be out of stocks, then I guess you could actually buy Switch 2. I am not really sure. I guess Switch 2 has some service licenses problems, and they're going after like many emulations that keeps on like lowering for whatever reasons. As you know, getting with the emulation is creating more problems for Nintendo. So good luck fighting them, suing them, or just like try the disease around the GitHub page that Nintendo is trying to barely trying to fight over all of this one thing. Now on towards many things about like the Neo Blade X, Neo Blade Chronicle X, which I heard about it. They got a Switch 2 upgrade, but as you know, it's a downgrade promotion for what it's supposed to deliver about it. Now it's got worse than the Switch version, the regularly. Now it's been exploded about all the problems about the Switch 2 upgrades so far, and it's never gonna be forcefully fixed around here. Yeah. And last but not least about this one, this was quite big because the Xbox leadership has been quietly stepping down. As you know, Phil Spencer, who has been running the company for Microsoft gaming side, has been stepping down and been replaced by a AI executive for cloud services for AI, which is like Ashley Sharma somehow, and it's quite bad that they had to dig up what is her background about it. Even Sarah Bond, who is the president of Xbox, is also leaving. So I guess that Shara Sharma will be a replacer for both for Microsoft Gaming and Xbox for president. I'm not really sure who will be the next Xbox president. Is that there are some mixed reaction around her background, even though her gaming tag was about a month old when she started playing many of the type of titles, so she wanted to be part of the company. And this is quite a bit more dramatic because, as you know, we don't know what will be the future of Xbox or Game Pass, so something like that. Now, I'm thinking about she will be doing something for software for the hardware for the Xbox consoles, or something for the Game Pass, and it's gonna be screwing over for many purposes because it's gonna increase the prices for cloud gaming. So far, how AI technology will actually advance, and I'm thinking about she will be using AI generated video games to put in each of the cloud gaming paths, which is going to be a horrible idea in the future. So I think she will have to kind of learn for many of course use to advance for about a year. But who knows? Who knows? Probably she will be the worst for the upcoming years. So good luck for it. Yeah, GG for Xbox. I noticed that there has been a lot of parts of AI marine soldiers around it. There are so many demands. We see a lot of companies that have tried and they are exiting the consumer market and racing over towards what the billionaire techs that wanted to kind of resolve the storage for DDR5 and LP DDRs. For those who are thinking about like moving over to the company, will actually going to get to pretty smart, and it leads towards the suspicion about exiting the production line or going bankrupt. And as you know, the 4 is also affected by the price hike too, because everyone wants to move over to DDR4, which is a quite a cheaper way, but hasn't got much AI uses. But as you know, it can be used for a purpose for storage and usable for AI. While by DDR3, yeah, DDR3 is almost got affected, but sometimes it needs a bit balance. But I'm not really sure the state region has been affected about all this type of DDR and AI RAM storage like that. So far, it's pretty much hard for me to know that this is going to be bad for all of this. Now, for NVIDIA, which is a really one that arm for the series chip for the NPUs, has quite a very questionable all this is because they want to input a brand new APU around some of the laptops and the desktops that were quite effectively. But who knows? There has been a lot of questions for the company about seeing how operating system works around those who use NVIDIA about it. Now, there's been a lot of question if NVIDIA will be working with payout for OpenAI. Somehow it will not actually work around it, which I said about so much more about it somehow. And I noticed that Intel and AMD want to push AI in the PC marketing because, as you know, the CPUs and APUs are very useful and NPUs for the system that you can actually run. Now, CPUs for all of it is gonna be having someone questioning about this. And thinking about the multi-frame generation that AMD put out with the software, yeah, I think that people will have to distance themselves about that software. But it's the choice of users who like to do gaming. But I have no qualms or any other against it. But hey, is this the direction I want to do? So I can't say for sure. Besides, I am an AMD, I am an NVIDIA user, but AMD, it could be their own. But I don't know. It's just that AMD wanted to push towards AI to compete with NVIDIA. Actually, no, NVIDIA has been quite losing itself for many of the service ways that quite going against it. I'm not sure. And last but not least, there has been a lot of service outages. So that Cloudflare has 6 hours that half the internet has been off so far, and they kind of loosen it down. So they just have to bring it back up for the server to kind of run again. And also, AWS have another outage, 13 hours to blame about the AI coding. Wow, That's what reminds me how not to use around like AI's usage for the service. And another reminder is that Azure for AI has a hiccup for YouTube global outage, possibly, possibly like that. And that's pretty much what I want to talk about. And as you know, tomorrow will be my birthday, but sometimes I don't usually reveal my face that often around on doing videos like this one. And even though my accent, you will notice that I do have a Tagalog accent, but I only speak English because I do speak a bit more English language for myself, but I have a disability when I cannot speak perfectly language, and I have like short-term memory losses when it comes to just like knowing the names, knowing the person, and knowing the what company is it, and what was the part of the news that I was recapping it, and have a little bit of short-term memory loss for purposely what I usually do. But sometimes the model that I have this for about a year, even though it has changed a bit of more times so far, and I haven't got much in the detail about this model was made in VWard. But hey, I made it myself, but not using any AI tools, but just handcrafted that I use it. Even though the VWard model has been updated so many times, it got better for you use the model for easily, and you can actually try it for yourself. Now, my birthday is tomorrow, and you notice that I don't usually showcase my age, but think of me in my 30s. So, yeah, you will be shocked. And as you know, I'm trying to be very clean, not to be a creeper around internet space. As you know, I'm quite an introverted that doesn't negotiate many people who is wanted to be part of the community and part of be this type of p word. I don't like it. I'm just a Christian person trying to get myself clean faith for many of bad things that keep happening to people who grows big, trying to manipulate themselves and trying to get yourself in trouble on the internet space. But um, I was kind of trying to be very clean, trying to be very on solo, and try not to get many people trying to use me to manipulate like that one. Now, I think that was someone else who has a disability who is being manipulative and use a cloud chase to become miserable for themselves and trying to be very alcoholic. As for me, I don't want to get involved for being part or trying to be a manager. Some manager wants me, and I doesn't want to do that one. So I have a big responsibility for myself. I do have a job, and I don't usually share my personal information from many people who think that I do have bias around many left and right side. I stay very neutral, but sometimes I just kind of do this YouTube for a hobby. So even though I used to do Minecraft back in the day, and now I just do streaming just for like gaming and just having a little fun. And sometimes I do talking about like maybe blogs of happening around the world, even though you may disagree about the USA principles and policies and the other ways that you actually know about the world. I can actually not tell, but sometimes I will try to experience many things that will happen, and that will kind of change my mind for whatever the reasons. Now, I don't like to get people to educate them. I just want to have yourself critical thinking about all this so far. Now, even though I am quite in the 30s, and I don't usually showcase what type of, oh, are you very older or you were married so far. I wanted to kind of want to keep myself in private so far. So tomorrow it will be my birthday. I will be off for the rest of the month, and if there's anything that inspires me to see what's going on in the world on news, then I'll just upload some videos on YouTube and just like, getting yourself questionable reasons and talking about like, oh, you are an AI pro. Why are you just saying that thing that AI is a good thing? It's a bad thing for content creators and stuff. You know, you notice that YouTube CEO is into AI slop for purposely for getting the boost up to make YouTube a worse place that no one wants to talk about it. But hey, I guess YouTube is quite a difficult challenge for a lot of content creators who has been around for a year. And for me, I've been around for a decade. And even though this channel has been grow over me for many changes, even though there's no turning back, this is what the YouTube is gonna have a effect for all of us. But I wish for those who trying to make a content for a living, I wish you for the good luck. For me, I do this for a hobby, even though I will think about making a businesses on this channel in the future. But for now, I'm just doing this for a hobby. I do have a job and I do have a life. And sometimes people will actually want to control the narrative. Sometimes you may not like to control my narrative because who am I saying? Who am I saying? But anyway, that's it for today. Like, comment, and subscribe. And that's all I can actually share for the news for this February. Some of the recaps, some of the concerns and controversy, and also the downsides. But who knows? It's a weird place. I can't say for sure. But anyway, bye, and hopefully I'll enjoy my birthday.